Utah, a private ranch in the middle of the desert where people have spent 30 years trying to measure the unexplainable. It started with quiet glowing orbs over the ridgeline and a weird low hum that never showed up on recordings. Then the instruments brought specifics: spikes in the EM field with no clear source, brief dropouts in comms and GPS, drones losing altitude in the same spot, and radio noise that snaps on and off like a switch. Add the livestock behavior, animals freezing as if they've hit an invisible wall. That mix of sightings and anomalies drew in people with money who bought the land to turn it into a field lab. Cameras, antennas, overnight watches, rocket launches, and swarms of drones. The main question isn't, do anomalies exist? It's how to test them so the result doesn't depend on luck or someone's memory. How it started and when. Even before the 1990s, the area had small stories floating around. Someone saw lights over the ridge late at night. Others heard a hum that tape recorders never caught. Equipment would glitch for no obvious reason. The reports lined up on location, time of day, and how short the events were. Colors and flight paths differed. Classic signs that darkness, terrain, and weather can bend what people think they saw. High plateau, sharp temperature swings, layers of air, and mountain faces that reflect. Basically a stage built for optical and radio tricks our brains love to fill in. What eyewitnesses said. According to people on the ground, they saw a matte orb about the size of a full moon at arm's length, hanging for 5 to 10 seconds, then shooting straight up, a strip of light that flares and dies, a low hum that feels like pressure in the chest with a light body vibration, a brief ringing in the ears. Drones have quick sags in altitude over a specific spot. Folks say at times the herd stops as if it's up against an invisible wall, a dark, silent triangle gliding low over the ridge. For a couple seconds the stars go out within its outline, then it slips behind the hills. Phones at that moment pick up stepped interference on the signal. Buying the mystery. Who wanted this place and why? After the mid-1990s wave of stories, the property was bought for controlled access to data, not to chase a legend, but to test it. How they study it. EM and radio noise meters, wideband receivers, GPS loggers on vehicles and drones, infrared and low-light cameras, thermal imagers, ground-penetrating radar and seismic sensors, sometimes small light rockets and a drone swarm used as controlled sources. What counts as evidence here? Raw instrument logs, frequencies, levels, timestamps. Unedited video, photos with metadata. Drone telemetry, altitude, heading, speed, GPS fixes. Independent copies of the data held by multiple team members. What's repeated? Short radio bursts on fixed bearings, brief GPS/com dropouts over the same points, occasional drone drop in altitude over one specific area. What's been published outside the show? Field talks, interviews, and some raw logs, telemetry, yet there's very little peer-reviewed material, which is the main point skeptics raise. So the honest line is, there's a set of interesting episodes, some repeated, but almost no independent lab verification. The desert only looks simple on postcards. In reality, the terrain acts like an acoustic and radio mirror with no walls. Temperature layers stack, wind changes air density, ridges reflect and dampen signals in odd ways. Any instrument out here is like a street musician on a windy square. One gust and the note bends. That's why no single line on a graph is a bombshell by itself. It only matters if it survives the second and third pass under the same conditions. Here are a couple of stories from their fieldwork. Counter-arguments, how we check ourselves, why this matters, honesty and weight. Any pretty episode we try to break first. We check cables, batteries and control sources, look up satellite catalogs and flight paths. We rerun the test a day later, switch operators and add blind windows when nobody knows if there's a signal. If a case survives that grinder, it moves up the list. Something will show the public and pass to outside labs. A night with a drone. At midnight we send a drone over the draw where comms ripple most often. Clear sky, wind dropped, control channels quiet. At 100 meters, the telemetry is steady, then a quick step on the barometer. The pilot sees it but doesn't call it out, no priming the team. 15 minutes later, we fly the same spot, no step this time. All that remains is a short, single spike in the log, either worth a month of watching to catch a repeat, or something we scrap as non-repeatable. That's what anomalies look like without music and titles. Mini case, the morning GPS wobble. At sunrise, the truck follows a familiar track. Two independent nav units disagree. One is drifting by about 20 meters. The driver stops, drops a pin, waits for satellite correction. The fix snaps back. We write down time, humidity, temperature, and the sun's position. Anything supernatural here? More like a question of repeatability. If that point wobbles every morning, it's not random anymore. It's a candidate for long-term monitoring. Myths and rumors, what people believe. Popular takes range from cautious to bold. Some say there's an invisible zone over the property that messes with gear. Others push the portal rift in the valley idea where lights leak through, or that the land remembers something and instruments pick it up. In pop talk, you'll hear the Skinwalker motif from Navajo tradition, often bolted onto urban legends, even though the tradition itself treats such topics as taboo, and it's not the same as pop culture tech rumors show up too. Secret tests, military corridors, satellite reflections. Bottom line, the mystery became a brand. People arrive with expectations, and any odd blip on a graph gets a myth attached to it. What official science says. The conservative position right now, no convincing evidence of extraterrestrial origin. Typical explanations: sensor noise, poor calibration, atmospheric optics, satellites and aircraft, terrain and layered air reflections, human factors. The biggest gaps: events are rare, repeats are weak, time, place, channels don't always align, and a lot of video is overcompressed with missing original metadata. Result: many cases stay undetermined because of insufficient data, not because physics can't explain them. The honest take today: the mystery is alive but not proven. We have a real place, real owners, years of observations, a TV show, and a pile of interesting episodes. We don't have a stable, peer-reviewed base that would settle the argument. So the right vector isn't loud claims, it's strict experiments, long, quiet recordings, blind tests, independent channels, open logs, and a map of repeatability. That's how a beautiful story turns into a testable one. In short, no one's hunting for a miracle here. We're checking whether the miracle survives the numbers.